Hello everyone, welcome back to Ansarkari. In today's newspaper session, we will be taking up the important articles from the newspaper of 27 September 2024. And starting with the first topic here, this is regarding the World Tourism Day. So 27 September is World Tourism Day, and let's make every journey a step towards a peaceful tomorrow. So here the significance or the importance is given to the UNESCO World Heritage Site near Mumbai, that is Elephanta Caves. So when we talk about the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, so Agra Fort and Ajanta Caves, they were among the first sites which were inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1983. और जो लेटेस्ट यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट है इन इंडिया एज ऑफ 2023, so they are the sacred ensembles of the Hoysalas. So they are located in Karnataka, were inscribed in the last World Heritage Site. Further notable temples include the Hoysalevra temple in Halebidu. So these are the examples. और Hoysala architecture. और स्टेट की अगर बात करते हैं कि कौन सा में सबसे ज्यादा नंबर ऑफ यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स हैं, तो वी हैव महाराष्ट्र, एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दीज वी हैव कर्नाटका, मध्य प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश एज द अदर स्टेट्स. फर्दर मूविंग ऑन विद द कंसेप्ट ऑफ यूनेस्को itself, तो इसमें एक एस्पेक्ट आता है एज intangible cultural heritage. So when we talk about the monuments, etc., they are definitely tangible. But what about the intangible diversity that exists, be it in terms of the folklore or the various dance forms or the festivals, the culture, rituals, and the existing diversity, especially within a country like India? So uske regarding bhi, here we have this article. So this is mainly regarding Navratri. So Gujarat, it becomes a shopper's paradise, and chaniya cholis and exquisite jewelry are worn during the festivities. So again, when we look at festivals and such cultural activities, so they are definitely a source of increasing the employment, be it temporary employment itself, but it also increases the overall, it also contributes to the GDP of a country, and definitely reviving the cultural roots of a particular nation. इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. इसमें अगेन एक जो वे फॉरवर्ड हम सोच सकते हैं रिगार्डिंग द एस्पेक्ट, तो दैट कैन बी रिगार्डिंग द सस्टेनेबिलिटी, कि कैसे द festivals etc., they can be more sustainable. For example, when we talk about Ganesh Chaturthi, that includes the submerging of the idols. So in such cases, again, we can use the biodegradable materials instead of using POPs. जैसे कि हम copra use कर सकते हैं, which is like a dried coconut. So these are some of the ways by which we can switch to a more sustainable and eco-friendly way of celebrating the festivals. Even when you talk about the pollution in Delhi specifically, जैसे जब हम दिवाली की बात करते हैं तो उसमें the burning of firecrackers. So there we can opt for the green crackers for that matter, and even celebrating with the help of diyas etc., rather than necessarily using the firecrackers. Further, the fairs etc. that are set up, उनमें again management important हो जाता है of the stampede so as to prevent it especially. Or further we talk about the regulation, के how the rates etc., they must be well to the producers. So here we have Heritage City Ahmedabad, Adalat Stepwell, Modhera Sun Temple, Rani Ki Vav, Shivrajpur Beach, Statue of Unity. So these are the Gujarat's mesmerizing locations. So other sacred Navratri pilgrimage temples here, Ambaji Mata Temple, Ambaji, फिर माँ महाकाली टेम्पल, पवरगढ़. तो अगर हम बात करें इन सब टेम्पल्स की, तो these are all the examples here. तो कैसे it is important to manage the crowd during such times, and how it can definitely contribute to the economy, as I just now mentioned. तो उसमें जो allied जो soaps होती हैं etc. उनमें there must be a kind of an equitable distribution of the profits etc. with regard to their promotion. And also when we talk about all over India, तो उसमें भी जैसे we discuss about Uttarakhand, तो there we have the Kedarnath temple. तो उधर भी since carrying capacity को manage करना it becomes crucial. So in such areas which are not geographically able to sustain such huge amount of population at a particular instant itself, so their tourist permit systems, they must be implemented so as to have population in the carrying capacity itself, or rather strain na ho on the environment of that particular area. So that is important aspect. And further we also talk about various other example. जैसे जब हम बात करते हैं चार धाम की, तो again we have Jagannath Puri also, which is in Odisha. So that is also important, very important culturally. Further we have Badrinath and Kedarnath in the north, and the fourth one is in the south. Next, spawn city concept may mitigate flooding. So, with the increased rise of the erratic rainfall or maybe even the rising sea levels, etc., so they act as a threat to majorly the coastal areas, but even in the central states as well, it can act as a major problem. So, major causes क्या क्या होते हैं of flooding etc. Again, erratic rainfall and जो water absorption और जो retention है वो बहुत ज्यादा कम होता है of the land due to the already existing concrete infrastructure, which reduces the capacity of the ground to absorb the water. So these are the major points here. So mitigation में again when we talk about coastal areas, so again building up such specific walls etc. so as to prevent this flooding due to the coasts and due to the shores, etc. Further, we also discuss about the importance of the coral reefs in their impact in mitigating the flooding in the coastal areas. फिर हम बात करते हैं सेंट्रल स्टेट्स में कैसे we can mitigate flooding. So that can be done by the interlinking of rivers. That is also a very good source. जिससे जहाँ पे जो जैसे बिहार का हम एग्जांपल ले सकते हैं टॉप मोस्ट हियर कि how the there are some areas in Bihar itself which are very much drought prone. लेकिन कुछ एरियाज ऐसे भी हैं जहाँ पे flooding is seen due to the excess of existing water. So here regulation must be made. And even irrigation practices जो होती है there also, so as to enhance the perhaps to prevent the depletion of the soil due to the overuse of fertilizers etc., which further harms the aquatic bodies as well. तो यहाँ पे we are specifically talking about the sponge cities. तो sponge specifically a term इसलिए mentioned है because here sponge refers to the absorption capacity of a particular city, and since here city is mentioned तो definitely यहाँ पे developed areas की ज्यादा बात हो रही है, or maybe the tier 1 cities if we wish to say. Allied areas में not that much, especially in the villages. तो यहाँ पे क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है अगेन इंक्रीजिंग द ग्रीन स्पेसेस दैट आर ऑलरेडी एक्सिस्टिंग, उनका एरिया इंक्रीज करना, फर्दर प्लांटिंग मोर ट्रीज, एफॉरेस्टेशन जो हम बोलते हैं, दीज आर द वेरी बेसिक स्टेप्स. फर्दर जो ड्रेनेज सिस्टम है उसको और ज्यादा इनहांस करना एंड रिपेयर करना इफ द एग्जिस्टिंग वन इजंट वर्किंग मच. तो बेनिफिट्स में अगेन फ्लड प्रिवेंशन होएगा एंड ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज होएगा, अर्बन हीट आइलैंड मिटिगेशन होएगा एंड ऑल्सो बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्वेशन. तो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के एग्जाम्पल देखें तो हेयर वी कैन टॉक अबाउट द चाइनीज एग्जाम्पल. तो इसमें स्पन सिटी प्रोग्राम है जो गवर्नमेंट ने लॉन्च किया था इन 2015, जहाँ पे 30 पायलट स्पन सिटीज दे वर एमिंग टू बिल्ड by 2020 with the goal of 80% of urban areas. Because again जो major challenges होता है they are seen in urban areas itself due to the high density population. एंड फर्दर और भी ज्यादा इसके फ्लडिंग के चैलेंजेस देखने को मिलते हैं, दैट इज जो टाइम इंक्रीज होता है एंड जो एफर्ट इंक्रीज होता है ड्यू टू द ट्रैवल. दीज आर ऑल्सो सम ऑफ द challenges here with the cities. तो decongestion also we read about the township program कि how decongestion can take place, जहाँ पे जो tier 2 tier 3 और allied cities है, to the tier 1 जो metro cities है उनसे, there we can have more of infrastructure development so that the population can be directed to those places. तो efficiency quality of life को enhance करने में जो city की livability है, it will further improve that, and hence we can work towards efficient cities. So this is regarding Guwahati कि Guwahati in a haphazard manner तो sublet land and plots their control. So one key problem, urban planning. So smart planning is required here, and also the role of NGOs, CBOs and local communities, that is also very crucial here. Next, new survey frames urgent challenge before government. Inadequate creation of remunerative, productive job opportunities. So again, when we talk about employment, so employment be again, it can be on the temporary basis. This is when we talk about. So when we talk about employment again, temporarily जैसे MG Narega etc. So these are the welfare initiated jobs. Yesterday itself we read regarding employment कि कैसे हम उसको enhance कर सकते हैं, and also the two major government initiatives that were proposed. So first was regarding the apprenticeship, and second was regarding providing the or integration of the internship so as to provide better skilling as well. तो ऑन जॉब स्किलिंग की जब हम बात करते हैं तो उसमें इट कैन बी इंक्लूडेड. फर्दर वी रेड अबाउट द चैलेंजेस कि क्या क्या चैलेंजेस है. सो मेजर वन वाज रिगार्डिंग द स्किल गैप कि स्किल गैप इज देयर, एंड ऑल्सो रिगार्डिंग द जॉब स्पेसिफिसिटी. जैसे अगर हम बात करते हैं रीजनल इम्बैलेंस की, तो किस एरिया में किस टाइप की जॉब ज्यादा रिक्वायर्ड है, दैट ऑल्सो मस्ट बी फोकस्ड अपॉन so as to prevent the cases of migration etc. if they can help. तो here again employment में अगर हम की गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स की बात करते हैं तो again we have MG नरेगा, फिर प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना which is specifically regarding the skill training, providing the skill training to the individuals. फिर आत्मनिर्भर भारत रोजगार योजना जिसमें अगेन इंसेंटिवाइज कर रहे क्रिएशन ऑफ न्यू जॉब्स इन द फॉर्मल सेक्टर बाय प्रोवाइडिंग सब्सिडीज फॉर द एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड. फिर दीन दयाल उपाध्याय ग्रामीण कौशल योजना. सो दीज आर द टॉप स्कीम्स हियर, एंड इसमें अगेन वी कैन ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट द कॉमन फैसिलिटी सेंटर्स जहाँ पे इकट्ठा ही एट वन प्लेस itself the training etc are provided, and also one district one product state of the art उस सब का promotion, how it can help. This is majorly regarding employment and कैसे इंडिया के growth और development में it can help. So addressing this challenge is becoming more difficult with the production process becoming more capital intensive and labor saving. So again, this was yesterday itself we read the key term regarding the machine muscle that was being used. तो again इससे productivity जो होती है machines पे बहुत ज़्यादा enhance हो जाती है, thereby replacing several workers. So this challenge must also be addressed.
Also, here we can talk in the context of what is the relationship between the population growth rate and the employment rate. So, this we talked some time back that employment rate is more than the population rate, or we can also talk about the worker population ratio. So, unemployment rate has been declining from 2017-18, it was at 18%, and as of 2022-23, it is at 10%, but still it is considered to be higher level. And also as per RBI's data, which is the KLEMS data, which so this term it denotes the factors of production. So it is stating that employment in the country has increased to 64 crore in 2023-24. So it was 47 crore in 2014-15. And apart from this, we can also talk about how we are working upon formalizing the informal sector, that is also very very important when talking about how the job dynamics they are changing because of latest technology. When talking about artificial intelligence, there's always a fear that specifically in the low skill jobs it would be replacing the human labor. So that is one concern. Then we can talk about like different social security schemes have been run in, particularly when we're talking about the informal sector also. So formalizing that or restructuring that is important.
Next, incipient signs of strain in some sectors warrant monitoring. So this is regarding finance ministry. So Ministry of Finance said in its monthly income economic review, the signs of strain that they may turn out to be transient with the onset of festival season, but they warrant monitoring. So certain sectors in the Indian economy, such as automobiles and fast-moving consumer goods sales in urban area, तो ये strains के areas हैं. तो again जब हम बात करते हैं regarding the development of smart industries या फिर industrial revolution 4.0, जिसमें we talk about the computerized integration with the manufacturing. So how can they boost such services? Employment manufacturing, employment services. तो ग्रोथ में कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है तो वी कैन सी द ट्रेंड्स हियर so this is overall index so Naukri jobs peak index declined due to festive clustering of holidays. Next is India growth story benefiting only big capital. If the government can reduce compliance burden or if it is ready to look ease of doing business from the perspective of smaller businesses, that would be big help. Smaller businesses don't need more subsidies. So here again, when we talk about the ease of doing business, तो उसमें as I have been mentioning frequently कि जो केरला है इंडिया में it has been given the title or perhaps awarded with this thing that it has a very good and the smartest level of ease of doing business जिसकी वजह से again the productivity and the further state GDP of Karnataka Kerala that has been increasing significantly. तो कैसे करा उन्होंने ये majorly that is due to the reduction of the compliance burden जिससे कि easier registration facilitation further more government incentives etc they can promote the ease of doing business. So here this is regarding the priority in this. तो इसमें अगर हम बात करते हैं कि DPIIT की so how it is the main body that helps in the registering of the new startups and businesses, etc. So उनके बारे में we can discuss upon further the major government initiatives in this field itself. जैसे recently Bhaskar scheme was introduced for the startups. So they can increase here. So last 10 years में the effective rate of taxation for big businesses has come down much more compared to small and medium enterprises. तो जब हम बात करते हैं कि social justice scheme and even when we talk about the redistribution for that matter तो इन सब areas में equitable and egalitarian perspective आ जाता है कि how we are giving priority or target oriented or target based uh, facilities are provided to the individuals.
In this case, यहाँ पे जैसे mention है that India's growth, it is written that more or less we accept that our growth story, the nature of growth is accepted to be K-shaped. K-shaped means some sector, particularly the richer sections of the population have been growing much faster. There we can say that their per capita income has been growing at a much faster rate, and we have been seeing that the pace at which in a short time how many number of like millionaires and billionaires have been generated. And secondly, some sectors they see like bottom half of the population is not growing at that faster rate. But again, here we can also talk about the rate at which multidimensional poverty that has been reducing. So that is one indicator which was again released by Niti Aayog also. Then secondly, when we're talking about, again यहाँ पे लिखा है कि high capital sector. So for example, we see that because of government's expansionary fiscal policy, we see that the capital expenditure spending is, we are seeing more focusing upon the infrastructure creation and the investment, more attraction of FDI, then investment in greenfield projects. So for example, here it is stated that steel producers, they might be doing well, but at the same time we can also say that this is a labor intensive sector also. But when we're talking about the lower section of the society, for example, small scale industries are there, they're losing their market share and they are distressed because of, again, we can say COVID-19 impact, or even the impact of demonetization and implementation of GST also. They've not been able to grow at that pace, compared to the, we can say, before the period 2017, before the implementation of GST. And also recently we were also talking about that new standards have been, ISO standards for the industries have been released, where again the major impact would be seen on the small scale or the MSME sectors, because it would be difficult for them. They'll have to do more of investment, and they are suffering from, again, a certain lack of the financial credit. So that is one aspect.
Going bullish on investment in Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu is a beacon of inclusive and sustainable growth in India. तो जब हम देखते हैं अगेन रीजनल इम्बैलेंस के ऊपर जो यूपीएससी में भी करंटली क्वेश्चन आया था मेंस में, तो उसमें दिस एग्जांपल कैन आल्सो बी सीन, दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द growth of the western and the southern states with regard to the as compared to the northern and the eastern states. And further even the allocation, maybe there was a dilemma कि कैसे जो needy states हैं उनको ज्यादा contribution and funding it must be provided. Lekin again, the other states or the more developing, fast-paced developing states, as we can say, so they were also demanding, okay, since we are providing you with the results, so we need more of funding. So similarly, in the and the global search for alternatives to China, so is a strong contender for global investment. So this article is mainly regarding investments, and कैसे Tamil Nadu के regarding we also read about its importance in the textile sector for that matter. So apart from textile sector, कौन-कौन से areas है जिनमें it is leading? तो it is leader in electronics manufacturing, जो कि 33% इंडिया के इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एक्सपोर्ट्स होते हैं उसमें it is contributing to, और जैसे global brands में भी it is contributing. तो availability of skilled labor is also there and world class infrastructure. तो state एक hub बन चुका है for the electronics and the technology driven. So majorly this is because of the ease of doing business and further cementing its appeal to the global investors. तो जब हम बात करते हैं चाइना +1 स्ट्रैटेजी की और एन ऑल्टरनेटिव टू चाइना, सेल्फ रिलायंस भी यहाँ पे आ जाता है, तो तमिलनाडु emerges one of the strongest contenders of the global investments.
Also, it is written that its economic governance model or its economic reconstruction has been attributed more to the the equitable distribution of resources and inclusive growth. So, for
Hmm.
example, it is focusing upon social justice, economic empowerment, focus on well-being of all the citizens, and also the state's reduction in the total fertility rate that has eased the state's poverty burden also. So it is important we focus upon equitable growth. Even the previous article, this element is important.
Hmm. Inclusive growth के हम पे बात कर सकते हैं कि all the sections they are included, especially the vulnerable ones with positive discrimination, if we can term it. So diversity, equity and inclusion, DEI. एंड ऑल्सो मेजर एरियाज की बात करते हैं तो अगेन दे रिमेन द बेसिक, कि अगर हेल्थ एजुकेशन में देयर विल बी मोर ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स देन ऑब्वियसली द ग्रोथ विल बी हायर. जैसे केरला की केस में भी अगर हम देखते हैं तो हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट है पूरे इंडिया में.
And it also accounts for 35% of countries' automobile exports.
हम्म.
So automobile, smartphone manufacturing.
तो मैक्चुअली कैन वी थिंक ऑफ द रीजन कि ऐसा कैसे है कि जो सदर्न स्टेट्स है दे आर डूइंग मच बेटर दैन दी नदर वंस करेंटली अगर हम देखें. in all these sectors?
It is all depending upon the governance model. It is all depending upon, we can say, the ease of doing business in a particular state, that ecosystem which has been created in a state, which is attracting more of FDI, which we can say that can be also in the form of tax incentives as well. For example, tax breaks or land is being provided at subsidized rate. There's single window clearance system, streamlining the entire process, setting up operations. There is more transparency and more accountability. So ease is there. Plus, we can say that another factor is that we've been seeing that the basic availability of the basic services, then total fertility rate reduction, so poverty burden has also been reducing. So that is also giving buoyancy to this growth. And even in terms of, we can say that more competitive nature is being seen as far as when it comes to China plus one strategy. So
Hmm.
more industries, industrial development, we can say. Like we have one kind of or one nature of ecosystem in the state of Gujarat. So this is another model that we can talk about is Tamil Nadu. So even in Gujarat also we are talking about that there is like very minimal element of services led growth. In Gujarat also it is all industrial led. So similar is the case with Tamil Nadu as well.
Hmm. Next, India needs a dedicated law to deal with national security risks from FDI and trade. तो जब हम बात करते हैं नेशनल सिक्योरिटी की, तो इन व्हाट एरियाज वी कैन डिस्कस अबाउट इट. तो हियर इट इज मेजरली रिगार्डिंग the investments that are being done in our country. So, FEMA Act 1999, a law that provides the architecture for the orderly development and maintenance of the foreign exchange market in India. तो several liberal democracies जैसे कि जो कनाडा ऑस्ट्रेलिया है, they too limited the Chinese FDI during the pandemic. लेकिन they did so under dedicated legal provisions that were designed to deal with the risk FDI may pose to the national security. So how can foreign direct investment be injurious to national security? So actually is this relating to the cases of money laundering, etc.?
It can be also related to surveillance also, as we have this concern with the, if we are again see import dependence upon the chips which are being manufactured in China. So
Hmm.
there are concerns related to that, if that is being used to manufacture smartphones or it is used in any other like electronic goods. So it might lead to concerns related to surveillance, and then data security or the fundamental right to privacy will get violated. Like India, we have restricted the Chinese FDI, but this was also one change which was made, that although we didn't directly target China here, but the manner was again pointing towards China only, that we
Hmm.
stated that the bordering countries of India wouldn't be able to do FDI investment up to, again, a certain fixed percentage was decided, which was very, very less. So that was also on the perspective of national security concerns and the vulnerability.
And apart from these other areas that we can focus upon is क्या क्या और रीजंस हो सकते हैं. तो कंट्रोल ओवर द क्रिटिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, जैसे कि स्पेसिफिक एरियाज वी हैव सीन कि जो एक गवर्नमेंट होती है, कंट्री होती है, इट स्पेसिफिकली रिजर्व्स इट. जैसे पहले अगर हम देखें तो व्हेन देयर वाज आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस इटसेल्फ व्हेन वी अडॉप्टेड द मिक्स मॉडल, तो उसमें भी जो प्राइवेट इंटरफेरेंस था, जो देयर वर सेवरल सेक्टर्स दैट वर रिजर्व जस्ट फॉर द पब्लिक इटसेल्फ. तो ऑन द सिमिलर लाइंस इटसेल्फ फॉरेन के कंपैरिजन में अगर हम देखें तो जैसे टेलीकम्युनिकेशन सेक्टर और जो मेजर एनर्जी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होता है, जैसे वाटर सप्लाई, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ग्रिड, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, इनमें जो कंट्रोल ऑफ द अदर फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशंस, उसको फॉरेन
Hmm.
ओनरशिप को अवॉइड करना. और फर्दर
Like in
डेटा
telecom
सेंटर्स के
sector,
लिए.
telecom sector में we have this Chinese player Huawei, like internet modems और ये सब, these are
हम्म.
imported.
हम्म.
तो ये concern
5G
है. तो
टेक्नोलॉजी.
FDI से related ये सारे concerns हैं when it comes to trade. Trade में the thing is that excess of import dependence, and that import dependence is also increasing on China. So as a solution इस चीज को solve करना एक चैलेंज है, एंड वो कैसे एक नेशनल सिक्योरिटी रिस्क या कंसर्न हमारे लिए है, बिकॉज इम्पोर्ट डिपेंडेंस इतनी ज्यादा व्हेन इट कम्स टू एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स. दिस थिंग वाज अगेन एक्नॉलेज्ड इवन ड्यूरिंग COVID-19 that 80 to 90% of import dependence for API, which are raw materials for our pharma sector, is entirely dependent upon China. China can suddenly stop the imports to India also. So it will bring the entire ecosystem, entire thing, entire functioning, entire supply chain to a standstill. So that is the national security risk. The things that we are importing from China.
Hmm. And other aspects can be regarding stealing of the sensitive technologies, और या फिर हम IPI की जब बात करते हैं in the sectors like aerospace, pharmaceuticals, I just now mentioned, and even information technology. So in areas में, and also key term that we can remember is risk of foreign state-owned enterprises. So SOEs. So screening and management is required here. Sectoral caps put होने चाहिए कि किन किन sectors में there are limits of foreign ownership in the strategic sectors. That examples that we just now mentioned.
So already like we have a model bilateral investment treaty. So Article 6 deals with the foreign investment related exchange control issue. So here Article 33 is empowering the state to take measures for the protection of national security. Then we have FEMA Act. Then we have again Section 8A of the Customs Tariff Act law relating to customs duty. So when it comes to even the dumping by China, that is also a concern because it will hamper the competitiveness of India's domestic sector, particularly when it comes to the manufacturing and the industrial sector. So that will also pose a challenge because it will be again impacting the competitiveness, it will impact employment generation, it will impact the growth of exports in India. So in a way, it will impact our economic growth. So FEMA Act, Customs Tariffs Act, Bilateral Investment Treaty. These are some of the laws we have.
Further again is regarding World Tourism Day. So Punjab, one state, many destinations to enjoy. So this here is Golden Temple. Operation Blue Star. So historical treasures, mouth-watering Punjabi cuisine, pristine natural landscapes of festivals, craftsmanship, free-flowing rivers and farms. Further, again regarding the semiconductors, India startup at the heart of the country's first national security fab. So PM Narendra Modi ji and US President Joe Biden during the meeting in US, they announced establishing a semiconductor fabrication plant in India. So two names stood out here. भारत सेमी, तो ये मीटिंग ऑफ डिफेंस एंड नेशनल सिक्योरिटी नीड्स के लिए है, एंड दिस इज भारत सेमी एंड थर्ड iTech. So it will design chips specifically for military and defense purposes. When we talk about semiconductors, so उसके regarding again we have schemes like spec scheme etc. फिर PLI, DLI they are provided. Data centers की हम बात करते हैं, and also the AI integration with them. So many investments have been from other companies as well. जैसे कि हम TSMC की बात करते हैं, and even Taiwan for that matter. For defense trade and technology तो डिफेंस ट्रेड एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इनिशिएटिव इन 2019. तो कैसे इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगा, अगेन द सेम की टर्म्स दैट वी जस्ट नाउ मेंशन, कि सेल्फ डिपेंडेंस होगी एंड जो नेशनल सिक्योरिटी रिस्क्स हैं they will be reduced because again these are majorly for the critical sectors for military and defense purposes जहाँ पे privacy and data security is required. So compound semiconductors are essentially semiconductors that are made from two or more elements, like silicon chip that are made from single element. तो ये expensive होते हैं, but they can do things that are simply not possible with silicon on account of their fundamental material. So compound semiconductors. Next, one night at the police station. So, a fortnight ago, India was shaken by an incident where a woman was allegedly physically tortured and sexually harassed at a model police station in Bhubaneswar. So, outrage at the lawyer self-entrepreneur's ordeal that took on a life of its own, even as the families of the suspended police personnel protest. So this here we can discuss regarding the functioning of the police stations कि जो हमारी सबसे ज्यादा सेफ स्पेसेस होती हैं where we go to report crime अगर उन्हीं instances पे if supposedly such instances occur then how to prevent them and क्या क्या इसमें हम steps ले सकते हैं so as to um, reduce such instances. तो अगेन टॉप मोस्ट इसमें हम एग्जांपल सोच सकते हैं दैट इज रिगार्डिंग सर्विलेंस कि how the increased surveillance it can help in reduction of such instances if they ever happen. Further secured entrances exits हो सकते हैं और बायोमेट्रिक एक्सेस कंट्रोल हो सकता है फॉर दी सेंसिटिव एरियाज जो हम बात करते हैं एंड इवन व्हेन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द फाइलिंग ऑफ द एफआईआरस कि कैसे उसमें भी देयर वाज दिस introduction of the biometric assessment at the time of filing of FIRs. जिसमें कि time etc. all those details can be noted itself. And even of the criminals जैसे उनका भी iris scan. तो crime data management systems they can also help in tracking. और further of course जो regular safety drills होती हैं और जो हम बात करते हैं कि sensitization of the police personnel. So these can be the मेजर स्टेप्स जिससे कि जो कस्टोडियल डेथ्स होती हैं या फिर अब्यूज होता है जो इंस्टेंसेस होते हैं दे कैन बी चेक्ड अपॉन और इंडिपेंडेंट ओवरसाइट बॉडीज भी स्टैब्लिश कर सकते हैं टू इन्वेस्टिगेट कंप्लेंट्स अगेंस्ट द पुलिस पर्सन. So this again is regarding the other certain aspects. तो च्यवनप्राश इन योर बोन तो अगेन कैसे जो न्यू इनोवेशंस है फूड एज एन आर्ट इज emerging in India, especially when we talk about cities like Delhi. And even when we talk about the films, कि कैसे जो एक सॉफ्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन होता है ऑफ द कंट्रीज. वी ऑल्सो रेड अबाउट द रीसेंट एलिगेशन कि कैसे जो फिल्म है लापता लेडीज इट वाज अप्रूव्ड फॉर द ऑस्कर्स rather than another films like गोट लाइफ जो कि ज्यादा बेटर मानी जाती है. So walls can talk. So this is again regarding art, public art interventions, visionary artist and mentor Hanif Qureshi. So here we can discuss about कि कैसे rather than just employment, they can also be viewed as a way of like globalization and trade की जब हम बात करते हैं तो उसमें and also showcasing the actual heritage via this food, art, culture, movies, films, etc. How they can act as representing the country in the various streams. इसकी हम बात कर सकते हैं and also at the times of schooling itself कैसे more interests etc. and such workshops etc. can be specifically conducted so as to enhance the participation in such areas rather than just the mainstream courses or the streams that the individual prefer. Further, storms brewing in East, South China Seas. So, what has led to flare up in tensions in recent times? And why does China see its claims over the seas as defensive actions? Also, regional countries हैं, they consider it provocative. And why is US drawn into the conflict and what lies ahead? So we recently read regarding the trials, etc., that have been, or the practices that have been conducted by China, which are, of course, जिसकी वजह से concerns raise कर रही हैं, the countries like Japan, Australia, etc. तो उन्हीं lines पर again we can read about it. So China asserts sovereignty over the East China Sea. Here we can read the names of the islands, Senkaku and Diao Islands, which are controlled by Japan. जिससे कि heated tensions हो रही है with the several Southeast Asian nations. So again, neighboring countries में generally we see such tensions that do exist. So even Japan and China के case में since World War II itself, there have been such instances. And further, the common ideology है of China and Russia, which is on the similar lines of the communism. So even ideologies of the um, leaders how they also impact their relations with the other countries. जैसे इवन अगर हम इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो नॉन अलाइनमेंट मूवमेंट जो कि स्टार्ट हुआ था जो टॉप मोस्ट प्रिंसिपल है ऑफ इंडियाज फॉरेन पॉलिसी तो इवन इन द बिगिनिंग और आफ्टर जस्ट आफ्टर द वर्ल्ड वॉर टू कोल्ड वॉर की जब हम बात करते हैं तो जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी के टेन्योरशिप में भी देयर वर सेवरल inclinations that could have been there towards Russia due to the socialist ideology of Mr. Nehru. But again, that was avoided so as to not provoke the war between the two major parts. So again, security maintained करना in the maritime securities is important. It is important. Be it for the reserves of oil and natural gas and जो critical elements provide होते हैं and further the food for that matter that is available from the marine life. So artificial islands are being built, military infrastructure, and aggressive maritime tactics.
So we study this map. Firstly, important is this nine dash line. China claims 90% of the South China Sea. It is leading to violation of exclusive economic zone of the ASEAN members and the countries. Then we are seeing of late uh Thitu Island. So Manila, that is Philippines, it is building up a base in the disputed zone. So we can see the location. Then we see Spratly Islands, Paracel Islands, and Scarborough Shoal, that is also located in the South China Sea. And Sulu Sea is also a part of it, so which is occupied by Philippines. Then we have Gulf of Tonkin, which is close to Vietnam. So we can say that when we have the when we're talking about what is the vision regarding the Indo-Pacific overall, so we say that we have a vision or we the objective is to have free, open, inclusive, and a democratic and rules-based order Indo-Pacific region. But this instance or this picture, this map is not showcasing the same. That even Philippines, because it we can say that it has been forced to take such steps because China is also building the artificial islands. It is then militarizing them, so that is the concern that unilateral actions by China and the claims by China is a problem. Even it is violating the EEZ of Brunei as well. As you can see, north of Malaysia, it is located, and this is also a part of the ASEAN. And also it is close to the choke point of the Malacca Strait as well. So it raises concerns regarding the safety of the trade routes and the channels which are located there.
Hmm. एंड फर्दर जब हम टेरिटोरियल वाटर टेरिटरीज की बात करते हैं तो उसमें अगेन इंटरनल वाटर्स है, फिर टेरिटोरियल सी है विच इज स्टिल 12 नॉटिकल माइल जोन फ्रॉम द बेस लाइन, लाइक फ्रॉम द
Hmm.
कोस्ट जब हम बात करते हैं। फिर
Hmm.
कॉन्टिग्यूस जोन आता है जो कि 12 से 24 नॉटिकल माइल्स है फ्रॉम द बेस लाइन। और उसके बाद आता है फोर्थ पे एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन जो which extends to 200 nautical miles from the baseline। तो किन किन चीजों पे राइट्स होते हैं? राइट टू एक्सप्लॉइट मैनेज कंजर्व नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, फिश ऑयल मिनरल्स इन द वाटर, सीबेड और सबसॉइल में। एंड बियॉन्ड दैट होता है कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ, वो नेचुरल एक्सटेंशन ऑफ अ कंट्रीज लैंड मास अंडर वाटर which may stretch beyond 200 nautical miles in some cases। और की इंटरनेशनल लॉज की बात करते हैं तो यूएन क्लॉज, यूनाइटेड नेशन कन्वेंशन ऑन द लॉ ऑफ सी, 1994 से इट हैज बीन इन फोर्स। So these are important here for managing the territorial water boundaries.